happy trails to that sweet little piglet.
Face.
All right, let's say good morning to our Ainsley McPhail, continuing on her Folklorama journey. Ainsley, you've ended up this morning at the Africa Pavilion.
Yes, I've made my way to multiple countries this morning, 54 of them that make up Africa. And we're going to talk about how diverse it is, all of the different nations, as well as the cultural display and the marketplace. It's really neat. Some of the things you can find at the pavilion. Take a look at these earrings, for example. Really intricate designs and colors. The whole place, that was the first thing I thought when I came here is, wow, look at the colors. Then we're going to head to the cultural display where we see lots of wood. I believe I see some instruments. Then we got the dance, then we got the music, and lastly, we're going to talk about 3 dishes, the food.
That's incredible. It looks good. I like that market so far. Thanks. Ainsley McPhail is visiting the Africa Pavilion this morning. Coming up at 6:38, she's taking us inside the market to find out what you can purchase there. That's coming up. Beautiful tribute. All right, Ainsley McPhail is all ready for us at the Africa Pavilion. I love what you're wearing, Ainsley. What's happening?
Yes, I'm so honored. I've been decked out in African attire. I'm joined by Florence. And yeah, the crew here is really treating me nicely. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Africa Pavilion.
Thank you so much. So I have a gele on my head. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about it and its significance to the Nigerian culture and the African culture?
With the African culture, our complete dressing have to go with an headgear or a gele. In Nigeria, we call it gele, but in Africa, it's called an head tie or headscarf. All African clothes comes with a headscarf. It's not complete without the gele. And then for weddings and festivities like Folklorama, it's all very good that you top all your dressing up with something fancy like gele. And we have different colors and different designs to match with your outfit.
Speaking of outfits, I'm wearing something modern, right? And what other styles are there?
Traditionally, this is the one, we call it Bubu. It's very common with the every African country. This is something that you can wear and walk into any country and you will fit in. And this is the traditional clothes for Africans. But now the young generations are now modernizing it and topping it up and changing the styles, tweaking it here a bit and here and there, and now you have something like this. We also have other stuff, other designs that are created out of the original designs, but they still have one tone, and that is free. For you to get enough air, it's summer clothes, and it's always very colorful and beautiful.
And quickly, we're representing 54 countries here. How diverse is this pavilion? Africa
is diverse in terms of everything, but the diversity actually ties into one. We are very, very unique, and we are unique in our ways, but similar. And I tell you, a lot of similarities exist between us. One of them is the clothing, another thing is the food, another thing is the way our music. We all beat drums, we all wear headscarf, we all eat wheat and rice, and we, of course, we all eat beef or chicken or beef and any kind of meat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to be learning about all of those intricacies coming up later this morning.
Oh, I love how she explained all that for us. Thank you so much.
We're going to the Africa Pavilion this morning. That's where Ainsley McPhail is joining us, and you look great, Ainsley.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be wearing some traditional Nigerian headwear. It's called the gele, and I also have a traditional, non-traditional African shirt on, which as you can see, is more of the modern look. There's some other looks that we were shown earlier on this morning. But I was just telling Kenny, we kind of have some music in the background, and I feel like it's impossible not to dance. So they're going to show us the meaning behind some of the moves, as well as showing me some of the moves themselves. We're also going to be looking at 3 different African dishes and the significance behind them as well, some of the spices and the cultural significance. The pavilion's organizer has been here for 10 years. She's been organizing for 10 years. So we talked to her kind of about the history and what it means for so many African people, including the kids as well. So stay tuned for that.
Oh my goodness, looking forward to learning and seeing so much more about the
coming up at 7:28. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Africa Pavilion. We're going to learn a little bit more about braiding and the market and what you can expect to spend your cash on when you go there.
Well, our Ainsley McPhail is touring several countries today. All can be found at the Africa Pavilion, and they even have a market.
Oh, she's going to put her microphone on.
Let's try that.
No.
No?
Can't hear you, Ainsley.
Little microphone test.
Reconnect it.
I know, and cameraman Kenny's holding the camera.
Yeah, she'll figure that out hopefully soon. And that happens, right? Sometimes these microphones will actually loosen.
All right, I think she figured it out.
Oh,
Ainsley,
can you hear us?
Can we hear you?
Yes,
more
can we
importantly?
hear me?
Oh, there you are. I'm so relieved.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, we're getting to the market. So, I don't know if it's a recency bias or what, but this is one of my favorite marketplaces because it's just so beautiful. The colors, the jewelry. I'm joined by the pavilion coordinator, Florence, who's going to tell us a little bit about it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. And thank you for being in our pavilion.
So the jewelry is so colorful, so beautiful. Can you tell us about what some of the significance behind it?
Like earlier said, African attire or African costume or dressing is not complete without the jewelries. And the jewelries are made up of, originally, they are all beaded, beadwork. And each bead represents sometimes the particular area you come from in Africa, and also depicts sometimes your position in the community. Something like this originally is what we call the cowrie shell. Is very different, and it's usually worn by women who are leaders in the community originally. And then this costume goes to mostly for younger ladies that when they put on without their clothes down, they can put this around their neck. And also now we have beads made to represent the colors of their countries. So most of the countries in Africa, they make the beads in those colors. So Africa, for you to dress up in an African attire, you have to have something around your neck, around your ears, and on your hands. And most of them are mostly bead. And bead also represents sometimes the particular parts or places where you come from and what those places do or what they are known for. Something like this will be coming from an area close to the sea, because it looks like something that has that's something from the sea or water animals. Yeah.
The silly microphone took all of our time up. I'm so sorry, but stick with us. We've got a lot more from the African Pavilion.
Thanks, Joseph. Now going to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Africa Pavilion this morning. We're going to hear some music and we're going to see some dancing.
It's all about the music, Rochelle, here at the Africa Pavilion. I'm joined by Frank, who's going to play a little something for us coming up. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
So what can we expect to hear at the African Pavilion?
Well, we have a diverse show running from little kids, some as small as 2.5 to 3 years old, to the youth, and then to the eldest. So we have a diverse selection of performances that we have at the Africa Pavilion. Yeah.
And these are such beautiful instruments. What do we have here?
Okay, so these are versions of the djembe drums. For this one right here is quite common. There are quite a number of schools and families that have them in their living rooms, and these are taller versions of them. You basically have to hit it. The surface has different portions depending on how hard you hit it. It produces different sounds. And at the Africa Pavilion, we're going to have one group, a drum cafe, that's going to demonstrate how to hit or create music out of these drums.
To our left, what do we have?
To our left, I have Titi Tijani, who heads the African Community of Manitoba. Titi, what do you have?
I have what we call shekere, and that's marrakesh in English. So it's calabash with beads, and so depending on how you drum it, it gives you different sounds.
There we go. Okay, we're going to have you guys take it away. Let's hear some music.
Rise and shine. Thank you so much for. And the Africa Pavilion is ready for us. We'll learn more coming up at 8:06. All right, let's head on back to the Africa Pavilion. That's where Ainsley McPhail is sporting some incredible regalia, as well as you're learning about some of the dancing.
Yes, there's a multitude of African dances that you can see here at the Pavilion. We're going to do one later on this morning, welcoming everybody. I'm joined by Frank. Good morning once again.
Good morning. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about some of the movements we can expect to see.
Okay, so on the African continent, we have different cultures, but one thing that also brings us together is our drums. From the olden days, it has always been used as a means of communication in the smaller towns, smaller villages. When there is a message that a king or chief needs to give out, a drummer would come out and beat the drum. And it sends a message to gather people to come listen to what the chief or king needs to say. So, yeah.
And dancing in a circle, is there significance behind that as well?
Well, usually it's a calling that those dancing are welcoming others within the community or within the gathering to come around and join in the joy that is being depicted through the drumming and then the dancing that's happening. Yeah.
What are some of the other dances we can expect to see at Folklorama?
Oh, at Folklorama, in fact, tonight we have the drum cafe. They're coming to beat these same drums that we have here. There are kids from about 2.5 years old to youth, about 18, 19, and then adults, as we can see, some adults also dancing. So there's a variety of dancing and drumming that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to join in, and perhaps we'll have another join in later on. Let's get started.
Oh yeah, Ken's showing the whole world his dad dance moves.
Honestly,
for sure.
cameraman Kenny, he's going to have to maybe ice some muscles later. He moved a lot right there.
He did. Good job. Ainsley McPhail is joining us one last time at the Africa Pavilion. What's on tap now, Ainsley?
We got food on tap. We saved maybe the best for last. I don't know, the dancing was pretty good, but the food looks phenomenal. I'm joined by Maggie and Stella, who are going to tell us about how these dishes are made. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So tell us about what some of these dishes are. Some are East African, some are West African?
Yes, yeah. So this is the Africa Pavilion, so we have food all across the continent. We have jollof rice, we have chicken, we have salad, and this is all over Africa. We also have samosas. Samosas mostly from the eastern part of Africa, and it's made with pastry, the regular pastry, flour, Crisco oil, some water, a little bit salt, and then the filling has some meat. We have beef samosas, we have veggie samosas. Filling has some cumin powder, salt, masala, and a few other spices to make it go. We have soya. Soya is also beef. It's kind of like barbecued beef, cut very thinly, and as you can see, it has our regular spices to make it taste so great. Then we have kunafa. Kunafa is also an Ethiopian dessert mixed with a filling of cream and coconut. Nice tasting. Apart from that, we have other food here. We have fried plantain, our best one. We have chin-chin. Some people call it like fried cake. We have dough bites. Yes, and now we're gonna make...
We only have about 45 seconds, Stella. So let's talk about how we make the rice in 45 seconds.
I'm trying to talk about how we make jollof rice. So I've warmed my oil. So the first thing we usually fry, put it in, is the onions. You put the onions in, and after the onions are cooked, Then we like spicy, so Scottish pepper, which is very hot. Okay, and then the pepper goes in, fresh tomatoes goes in, tomato paste, and then spice and curry, a little bit of curry, just to give it a flavor, not a lot. Okay, so we do that, and then after all this cook, this is the end results. Okay, and then after this, when this is cooked, you put it in a pot and then water and put it in the rice.
And that's the finished result. You're going to have to come to the Africa Pavilion to see more.
Oh my goodness, that looks amazing.
I mean, she had me at the Scotch pepper. I've been trying to find like a good dish with that type of heat. It's so flavorful. Bring some back if you can, Ainsley.